Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Living Beyond Limits and our in-person service. I'm Reverend Jennifer Spear, and we are a part of Centers for Spiritual Living. And those of you who are joining us online today, welcome to our service. So glad that you've joined us. And so we're going to begin our service by standing and singing, I'm in Love.
I'm in love. Can you hear the piano? I am in love with well-being. I am in love with the good that I'm seeing. I claim my highest and best, knowing how much I'm blessed. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. You know, I just wanted to let you know that I wrote this song for my sister who was going through cancer, so she could use this as an affirmation, and she kicked its butt. I am in love with surrender. I can, my heart is as brave as it's tender. I can be peaceful and bold, knowing how things unfold. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I am in love with forgiveness. It's a transformative personal business. I nurture my mind and my health when I start with myself. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I am in love with abundance. We have a flourishing, passionate romance. It promises goodwill abound as I spread it around. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. Ooh, I am in love with well-being. I am in love with the good that I'm seeing. I claim my highest and best, knowing how much I'm blessed. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. Yes, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love.
What a great song. I really like that song. That's nice. And so I invite you to join me now in reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, we give way to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. And so that's exactly what we are doing here at Living Beyond Limits, as we are giving ourselves the opportunity to feel and sense and know and remember that, yes, indeed, we are one with that infinite presence. That one presence, that one power, that one principle that is life itself expresses itself within us and through us and around us and as us. And that means then that every single one of those qualities of that divine presence, the intelligence and the peace and the love and the wholeness, all of those are inherent to our being. That means that no matter what's happening out there in the world, we have access to peace. No matter how confusing things seem, we have access to that intelligence that is within us. No matter what is happening, we stand in the truth of our own wholeness. And what happens is, as we come to know that that is the truth of who we are, that then when the world isn't reflecting those things back to us, it puts us in a place of personal power. It allows us to be in that energy that we want to be in. And as we come from that place, we are different in the world, and we transform the relationships and the conversations also as we do that. Mm-hmm. And so as we do that, we are participating in our own spiritual evolution as well as the collective evolution of humanity. Because the more we give way to that presence, the more that presence is made real in this world. And so thank you, every single one of you, for answering the call of your own spirit to be walking this path and to be being a beneficial presence in this world. Thank you for that. And so I'm going to invite our practitioner, David Conant's going to come up and lead us in an evocation as we begin to evoke an awareness of the presence of spirit that is always right where we are. Margaret's going to sing We Are and lead us in that song that will lead us into that evocation. So I invite you just to begin to settle into that space within you that is stillness, the place where you touch your own beingness rather than the doingness of your life.
We are one. We are one. We are all one in God. We are love. We are love. We are all love of God. Beauty surrounds me, falling at my feet as I hear the calling of the Holy One in me. We are whole. We are whole. We are all the wholeness of God. And we are strength. We are strength. We are all the strength of God. Beauty surrounds me, falling at my feet as I hear the calling of the Holy One in me. And we are made, we are made, we are all made of God. And we are one, we are one, we are all one in God. We are, we are, we are, we are.
During this time, as we each look into our hearts, We discover our oneness with Spirit and the one source where we live a life of pure Spirit. It is always with us. And so it is here today. But oneness with Spirit extends way beyond just us. All life and all that exists is one with Spirit. The spiritual presence that is the universal essence of life. And so we know this is the truth about living beyond limits. It is also true about Reverend Jennifer. These elements come together today as the creative intelligence that is the one source and that is our source. And that is the inner presence of love, joy, abundance, and much more. It is all here today as this service, and it flows into our lives and in all that we do. I bless Reverend Jennifer. I bless Margaret as she blesses us. I bless Ray. I bless all of us and all spiritual paths. And I bless the entire earth and everyone that calls this planet home. And so it is. Good morning. My reading today is from Creative Mind by Ernest Holmes. We have within us a power that is greater than anything that we shall ever contact in the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous, in a new light and in a new life. Mind. All mind is right here. It is God's mind, God's creative power, God's creative life. We have as much of this power to use in our daily life as we can believe in and embody. The storehouse of nature is filled with infinite good, awaiting the touch of our awakened thought to spring forth into manifestation in our life. We stand at the gateway of limitless opportunity in the eternal and changeless now. Now is the day in which to begin the new life that is to lift us up to the greater expression of all that is wonderful. The word that we speak is the law of our life, and it shall produce a new thing, a new heaven, and a new earth. And so it is.
I want to give a shout out to Marty. I miss you. Have you noticed how the blossoms will spare the scent for anyone? fortified its flowering nature, would surely mean to perish. And how you yourself are similar, you can share your gifts with everyone. For only what's worth offering is ever really cherished. And so God, let me be a witness to the power of your giving. And God, let me witness this power through me. My heart, it never will be empty, immersed in the truth I'm living. And as I declare, so it shall be. Like the sun that hangs above me, doesn't have to work to shine. I need only just to open to have the season of giving be mine. As I ask for strength and clarity and the willingness to trust, I am confident it's happening. I am confident it must. And so let me be a witness to the power of your giving. And God, let me witness this power through me. My heart, it never will be empty, immersed in the truth I'm living. And as I declare, so it shall be. On and on, like a daily resurrection, urging me to roll the stone away. And on flows a heavenly connection, manifesting in my soul today. So God, let me be a witness to the power of your giving. And God, let me witness this power through me. My heart, it never will be empty, immersed in the truth I'm living. And as I declare, so it shall be. Yes, as I declare, so it shall be.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you didn't know, the spring equinox actually happened this morning at 8:30. Did you know there's actually like a moment that happens where the earth is in perfect balance of light and dark? And so with that equinox this morning is the beginning of spring. So happy spring, everybody. And so in honor of the spring equinox and in honor of all of those who celebrate earth-based religions and this holiday for them, I invite you to stand to join me in calling in the directions. And so we begin by facing east. Is this east? We begin by facing east. So in the pagan tradition, which is grounded in respect and reverence for the natural world, calling upon the four directions is the usual way to begin a ceremony. Each direction is associated with an element of the natural world and represents some part of our human nature as well. The directions are not seen as separate and isolated, but rather as a part of an independent system that makes up the world. interdependent system. So in honor of the spring equinox and the sacred traditions of the earth, I invite you to join me in calling in these directions. O beloved energies of east, south, west, north, above, below, center, we welcome you this day. And so welcome east, place of the rising sun, birth and rebirth, the winds that bring new beginnings and bring about clarity, the place of enlightenment and illumination. We are open to your inspiration this day. Gives us new ideas, new beginnings, new breath in our speaking. Let this new day dawn in us with new and unlimited possibilities. Give us wisdom and insight for our growth. Welcome, East. South. Welcome, South, place of the noonday sun, the spiritual realm, the place of passion, creation, and inspiration, the spark of life, the fire within. May your heart live in our hearts as passion for what we are called to do. Let your fire ignite our spirits. Welcome, South. And we face west. Welcome, West, place of the setting sun, the emotional realm, the place of reflection and introspection, the place of endings, of death that is not an ending, but a transition to a new beginning, the direction of the bountiful harvest, the evening star, place of transformation and change. Welcome, West. One more turn to the north. Welcome, North, the place of abundance, prosperity, sustenance, grounding, and physical manifestation. The physical realm, the place of rejuvenating rest, peaceful slumber, stillness, inner wisdom, the place where dreams begin. May the wisdom of the North influence us in all that we do. May we live in balance and experience abundance. Welcome, North. And so you may face the front again. Above. Welcome, above. Welcome, Grandfather Sky. May the wisdom of the stars, planets, and weather, and the wisdom of the beings that inhabit the sky be with us. Let all of your blessings fall on us. May our ideas take flight as your energy enlivens us. Welcome, above. Below. Welcome, below. Welcome, great Mother Earth, beloved Gaia. Let us feel our connection with you today. May our bodies of your clay find a comfortable home on you, and may your ways of flow, conservation, and economy and nurturance unfold in our lives. Bless us, Mother Earth, and welcome. Within and the heart. We welcome the great within, the place of balance, of center, of timelessness and transformation. The place of the void from which all things are born and to whom all things return. May this inner universe that contains all we could ever need be with us today. Welcome to all that we are. Welcome to the great within. The directions have been called, and we are now in sacred space, open to the energies of these blessings. And I invite you to be seated. Spring is my absolute favorite time of year. with the flowers beginning to bloom and the trees leafing out. In fact, Colleen and I went to Central Park in Huntington Beach recently, and they have cherry trees there that are in full blossom. The entire tree is covered in pink flowers with no green leaves yet, just all pink. And to stand underneath that tree and to see the blue sky through those pink flowers is so incredible and so beautiful. And with the days growing longer and the sun setting later, it's so fabulous. And so it feels as if there is new life that is just bursting forth everywhere. Spring has that energy. It has the energy of newness and of possibilities and of fresh starts. It has a feeling of excitement and anticipation of things to come. Spring is absolutely symbolic of new beginnings and of possibility. It reminds us that within everything there is a principle of creativity. That within everything there is an infinite potential. And that creativity and that intelligence and that potential is really the foundation of everything in this physical universe. Creativity and infinite potential are the very nature of life itself. And so spring reminds us also that there is a law or a principle of growth, a law or a principle of unfolding that is happening all the time. And it reminds us of exactly what we need to know when we are feeling stuck, or exactly what we need to know when things aren't working the way that we would like them to work, when things aren't going the way we'd like them to go. Because as human beings, we have this need to know that we are never stuck. As human beings, we have a need to know that things are never hopeless, that the solutions to our own problems exist, that there are solutions to our problems, that there are solutions to the problems that are happening in the world. You know, maybe you're having a challenge in one of your relationships, or maybe you're in a place that you'd like to have a new relationship, or maybe there's some kind of a challenge going on with your health, or maybe it's just that you would like to have more free time in your life. Or maybe it's about wanting to have an end to the war that's happening in the Ukraine. We want to know that those possibilities are available to us. We also want to know that the good that our hearts desire is possible, and that there is a way forward no matter what we feel like we are stuck in, no matter what is happening that we don't really like at that moment. Ernest Holmes tells us, since universal spirit is infinite, the possibility of human expansion is limitless. Therefore, evolution or unfoldment is the eternal process through which the one infinite being passes into becoming. There isn't God and your life. There isn't this absolute intelligence and your problem. There is only that one infinite potential and wisdom and intelligence that expresses itself in and through and around and as everything that exists. We want to know that we are supported in living a life that is loving and peaceful, a life that is filled with harmony and with good. Again, it's that we need to know that that one creative intelligence is present, that there's only God, there's only the infinite, there's only the one as life itself. And if it is as life, then that means that presence is your life also. Our spirits long to know that peace. Our spirits long to know that harmony. Our spirits long to be in that experience of love and of oneness. Because our spirits already know that that is the very nature of the absolute. That peace and that love and that harmony is the vibration that we come from. It is a vibration that we carry with us. And because we come from that, we long to manifest that in this material world that we are living from. We already know it in here. So we want to experience it out here as well. There's this longing to create that peace and harmony and love and oneness and goodness. And so the title of my talk today is Spring Forward. And I'm talking about that as we see spring budding all around us, we can use that as a reminder that everything is filled with that infinite potential. We can remind ourselves that everything is filled with possibility. That possibility and infinite potential are the very nature of life, and they are the very nature of our life. The only thing that stops us from experiencing that good is our belief, is our thought. And so I think the problem really is that then when things aren't going the way that we want them to go in our lives is that we somehow think that we are limited. We think we're limited because we don't yet know the solution to the problem. Or we think we are limited because we don't yet have the answer to our question. We don't yet know what the job is going to be that we are going to acquire a little bit down the road, so we get scared. Or we don't know who that relationship is going to be with the relationship that we want to manifest in our lives, so we get doubtful. Or we don't know how to end the war in Ukraine, so in turn we feel hopeless because we don't yet have the answer. We don't yet have the solution. And then on top of that, we think that our future is going to be a repeat of the past. We think that we are limited by our past experiences or even sometimes our current experiences. We think we're limited by what happened in the past or what didn't happen. We think we are limited by the way things were or the way things were not. And what happens then is we project the past onto the future. I never had a job that fit me really well, so I never am probably going to have one. Or every relationship that I've had in my life has been challenging, so this new relationship is going to be challenging also. Do you do that? You think the way things were are the way the future is going to be. And that's not so. That's not so at all. And I can say that from my own experience. I know that my relationships in my life have always been challenging and tumultuous and difficult. And I remember after my last relationship ended, me telling my best friend, Reverend Tracy, I don't think I'm cut out for relationships. I just don't think I'm going to do this anymore. And she said, Jennifer, that's ridiculous. You just haven't met the right person yet. And I am in this relationship with Colleen now almost 9 years, and it is not tumultuous, and it is not challenging, and it is not difficult. But we do that. We take whatever our experience was and we project it onto the future and think that's the way things have to be. We forget that there is possibility, that we live in a realm of possibility, that possibility is the nature of our lives. Principle is not bound by precedent. Love is not bound by what has been. Love is not bound by what is happening in your life. It's not bound by what is or is not happening in the world. Creativity is not bound because something has not yet been discovered. The solution to the problem hasn't been discovered. Intelligence is not bound because you don't yet have the answer to your question. And so I'd like to share a couple of stories with you. One of them says, in a twist for solar energy, a Filipino inventor has created resinous panels that harvest solar energy out of recycled vegetables. And it can work even when it's cloudy, rainy, or out of direct sunlight. It turns out that there are extremely sensitive chemicals in vegetables that turn UV light from the sun into visible light, which can in turn be used to generate electricity from photovoltaic cells made from upcycled vegetable waste. Unlike the bulky solar panels we all think of, these vegetable polymer sheets can be bent, molded, and clamped into pretty much any shape. Furthermore, they don't need UV light to strike them directly, harvesting as plants do from the UV light through clouds. If placed on a roof entirely in a shadow, they can still generate UV light that was bouncing off, say, a nearby skyscraper or a field. Is that amazing? Another one says, using a unique hydrogel, scientists in Saudi Arabia have successfully drawn water out of the dry air for growing spinach, while producing electricity from the solar panels that power it all. The system offers a sustainable, low-cost strategy to improve food and water security for people living in dry climate regions. Quote, a fraction of the world's population still doesn't have access to clean water or green power, and many of them live in rural areas with arid or semi-arid climates, says Ping Wang, a professor of environmental science and engineering at the King Abdullah University of Science and Technology. Quote, our design makes water out of the air using clean energy that would have been wasted and is suitable for decentralized, small-scale farms in remote places like deserts and oceanic islands. Just because you don't yet see the solution doesn't mean there isn't one. Just because you don't yet have the answer doesn't mean that there isn't one. Ernest Holmes tells us all the possibilities of the infinite being exist for us right now. There can never be any less, and there will never be any more. But yet, sometimes we get frustrated and we lose hope because we forget that one creative intelligence that is the very foundation of everything is expressing itself right where we are. That one infinite creative intelligence is expressing itself within us, within our lives, and right where that problem is. We forget the allness of the one, the allness of that presence is present at every point in space and at every point in time. We forget that infinite potential and creativity is the nature of life itself. Just look around at spring. Creativity and intelligence so clearly depicting itself in everything. One of the core concepts in the Science of Mind says, in the infinite nature of God, all conceivable good is eternally available, ready to flow into human experience. Through some cosmic process, this flow of good is activated and or increased by human belief, faith, and acceptance. Our belief and our faith and our acceptance opens us. It opens us to that intelligence. It opens us to the peace that already is. It opens us to creativity and to wisdom. It opens us into insights and intuitions. It opens us to the good that is seeking to express itself. You know, if those scientists didn't believe in possibility, they never would have done the work to get those solutions. Something that pulls water out of the air. Solar panels that don't need direct light on them to work. We have to believe first. Ernest Holmes says, the one creative power is expressing in you in a unique way, and it is always pressing against you, seeking a fuller outlet of its infinite expression. That one is always pressing against you. It is pressing against humanity. It is pressing against everything so that it might be expressed in fuller ways, so that it might become more fully expressed in this world of form. It is pressing against you as wisdom. It is pressing against you as love. It is pressing against everything as creativity and as beauty. It is pressing against you as fulfillment and joy and oneness and good. Spirit is never limited. It is only us that limits spirit by our unbelief. And so our job then is to remind ourselves that we are never stuck. To remind ourselves that creativity and potential fill our lives. That they're a field that we live in, and a field that is pressing against everything to express. That creativity and that potential is the very nature of life itself. We're called to remind ourselves that that one expresses in and through everything. To remind ourselves, our job is to remind ourselves that there isn't God, the creative intelligence, on one hand and our lives on the other. That isn't the case. There isn't God and our situation. There is only God, only the one life. And that is imbued with intelligence and love and light. And so we are invited then to look to spring as a reminder, to look to spring all around us to remind us that that creative intelligence is in everything. To look around to remind ourselves when we look at spring that everything is imbued with a creative intelligence. Everything is imbued with that one presence. And as we lean into that, and as we look to that, as we open our hearts and our minds to that one, as we trust that one, then we open ourselves and allow it to flow into us. We open ourselves and allow it to unfold itself as perfect solutions in perfect timing and in perfect ways. And as a result, we make space for the perfect answers and the perfect solutions and the way forward. And so blessings to each and every single one of you as you awaken to your own divinity, as you awaken to the truth that that one is ever present, right where you are, pressing against you, seeking to express itself as your good. And so blessings to you. And so I invite you to join me in an affirmative prayer. And so we just take our attention to that one infinite presence of love, intelligence, wisdom, life. That one presence, that one power, that one principle that expresses itself everywhere. That expresses itself in everything and through everything, around everything, and as everything. For it is this one that all things have sprung forth from, and it is this one that sustains and maintains everything in this universe. And so we look to that whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. That energy and principle of love, that energy and principle of absolute intelligence and creativity. And we recognize that that fills our lives, that is the thing that leads us and guides us and speaks as our own intuition and our own deep bones knowing. That presence fills our lives right now and the lives of every single person on this planet. And so today we open ourselves to that influx. Not that it comes from outside. We open to the influx from within us as it comes pouring forth as our answers, as our solutions, as the perfect way forward in whatever it is that's going on in our lives. And so how good it is to be in this place of trust and this place of knowing, this place of faith. And so I speak this word also about this entire world, and especially about the Ukraine, knowing that this presence of intelligence and creativity and power and love and oneness is expressing itself also in every single decision maker, in every single military person, in the leaders of every country in this world, knowing that there is only one, and we are all connected. We are all part of the whole. We are all part of the one life, the one love, the one beingness. And so I know that that presence right now is revealing itself within the minds of every single person as the best way forward, as the way of peace and of brotherhood and equality, connection, and just goodness. For I know that God is synonymous with good, and good is unfolding everywhere right now. And so it is with a heart of conviction, it is with a mind of absolute knowing that I release this prayer in trust and in faith, making space within myself for it to unfold. And I know that as we have each here made space within ourselves, the opening is greater and that presence is flowing in an even greater way. I know that anywhere on this planet where there is an opening of mind or heart, it is unfolding itself now. And for that, I am grateful. And so I release this prayer into that perfect law of action, allowing it to be. And I say, and so it is.
Will this day be a blessing? This year be better than the last? Will I calm the voice that hounds me, discard the demons of the past? Will I step out in my faith now, live the truth I've come to know, throw these dreams into the river, and let these 4 words help them flow, singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Maybe it's a body that needs healing, a relationship that's worn, or a child that is in trouble. There's a friendship that's been torn. Here's a job that needs new vision, a bank account that needs belief. I don't gotta tell you all my problems, I just gotta rest in your relief. Singing, yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Come on, sing it now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. I believe in your goodness. I believe in your grace. I believe that your power is flowing through me in this space. Giving me guidance and you gave me desire, and you would not have set this flame in my heart if I could not start a fire. Yes, I believe, Lord, I believe. Yes, I believe. Sing it with me now. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Whisper it to your heart. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe. Yes, God, I believe.
My favorite song of yours. I love that. And David's going to come and help us lead us in an affirmation. Oh, yeah.
If you would join me. I look at spring all around me, and I am reminded of the creative power within and through everything. I open my heart and mind, and in turn, it unfolds in perfect ways in my life. And so it is.
And so I have a couple of invitations for you. One is actually a reminder. We will be here next week, and the week after that we are moving to a new location. We're going to be meeting at the social hall at Wardlow Park, which is like one block down Wardlow on your left-hand side. So if you want to check it out today so you know where the parking is and stuff, I invite you to do that. So we also are wanting to build some teams because as we move to that new location, we're going to have some more things to do. So we are asking people, there are sign-up sheets on that table, if you would be willing to come help us set up and break down. We're going to have to set up our chairs, since they're not going to be set up for us. We're going to have to set up tables, so we'd like people to come lend a hand, so it isn't just the 5 of us who have been setting up, but we have some other hands. We are also going to be responsible for making our own coffee. So if you would be willing to be on the coffee team, that might mean being responsible for coffee once a month or once every other month. About 5 minutes after service, will you meet me over here and we're going to talk about how we think we want to do the coffee. We are looking for Sunday morning greeters. We are looking for people who will be on an in-reach committee. In-reach is anything that we do to nurture this community. That means potlucks and barbecues and going on hiking trips, whatever it means, just kind of helping to orchestrate some of the stuff that we will do to build community and to be together, as well as outreach, means reaching out into the community, any kind of volunteer projects that we might get involved in. So that means to kind of come up with some ideas, to do a little bit of research, and then to present it to me or somebody on the board, and then we can pick dates and do that kind of stuff. So there are sign-up sheets for each one of those things on the table over there. There is also a sign-up sheet. I am going to teach a brand new class that I am super excited about that's called Spiritual Principles and Practices. It's a 5-week class that is designed around the 10 core concepts of the science of mind and spirit. Each week, there's 2 different principles that this philosophy is built upon, and then practices, things that we do to practice those principles. There's a sign-up sheet, and I don't know when I'm going to teach it. I could teach it during the week, during the day. We could do it on an evening. We could, if there are enough people that want to do it during the day, we could do it at a park and do the class outside at a park. If there are people that only want to do it at night, then we could do it on Zoom, or we could do it on Zoom during the day. So there's a sign-up sheet on the other table for that. And put your preferences if you sign up, and actually all the things that you are available for. Maybe first choice is this, and second choice is something else. So sign up for that. I think it's going to be a fabulous class, and I'm very excited to teach it. Our Sunday talks are available on our website, which is on this sheet, and our practitioners are available to support you after service. If you would like prayer, raise your hand if you're a practitioner. The practitioners are happy to sit down with you and do prayer, or there's a ministry of prayer box. We will support you during the week in prayer, or we have prayer shawls that they will pray over for a specific need that you want, and you can take that prayer shawl home and gift it to yourself or gift it to somebody else in your life that might like that. My last invitation is to stand, and we're going to sing. What are we singing?
I release.
I release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here